Hello everyone. So yesterday, which was October the 11th of 2023, Henry Dinkins was finally sentenced, and nobody was shocked that he got life in prison except for him, because he lies to himself and he actually believed the lies that he tells himself, because he thought that the judge is going to go. Well, he had the audacity to ask for a retrial or an acquittal because he believes the lies that he tells himself, because that's how he cope, you know, with what he did. Anyway, but we're all happy that he has been sentenced, but this is far from over, because what this man did, the consequences and the effects will last for a very, very long time. And this is for the people that, that just watch few seconds of videos. I'm speaking to you, and plus the people that say that they are Team Briasia, forever Briasia, because what we found out in this trial, that these two kids were very close, DL and Briasia. They were really, really close. They were road dogs, partners in crime. Unfortunately, Briasia is gone. She will never come back, and that hurts a lot of people. But she has, her mother is left behind, her brother and her two brothers are left behind, and this has affected them in such a negative way. Listen to this.
That this family is forced to live a nightmare that they could have never conceived of. And it's not a nightmare that comes to an end. Miss Langford, her son, her youngest son, her oldest son, they're going to live with the repercussions of this for the rest of their life. Quite honestly, when you stop and consider Mr. Dinkins' son, he was an 8-year-old child. And how do you take a child of 8 who is at a stage in their life where children are innocent, and then that child is taken by his father after Briasia has been shot and killed, and essentially been a companion with him and forced to go with his father as his father took steps to cover up his crime. And it's changed that child. The youngest boy, he's had struggles ever since. The child's completely derailed, Your Honor, and he's acting out. One of the things that I've had discussions with the child about, and certainly this is something that Miss Langford has pursued, is the issue of getting the child into counseling. But the problem is the child's fighting that because the child doesn't want to talk about the issue.
So after hearing that, for all the ones that you got the tattoo of Briasia on your body, you got the free tattoo right here, and people that said they were touched by this story, I had already give a call of action in my other video where I said that, even though, you might forget about this case, but hey, you have children, you have nieces and nephews. Never ignore your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, you investigate it until everything is resolved. You do not dismiss things, especially concerning children. But for those that, have those tattoos and say that, your Team Briasia, she's gone, she's not coming back, but she has her two brothers that are struggling with what happened. As you heard, that yes, he was supposed to, this little boy is supposed to get counseling, but he's fighting it. And if you are truly Team Briasia, you can't ever forget this family. You can't always keep this family in your prayer. Don't think that it's over just because Dinkins is in jail. What this man did will forever stay with this family. Even though, they get healing, they get the counseling that they need, the therapy, but this will forever stay in this family. And like I said, I do not like the GoFundMe concept, but this is such an appropriate situation to open a GoFundMe so that these children can get the counseling and the therapy that they need, all of the family, because the loss of this child has left a gaping hole that probably will never heal, because she should have been here. And there was so many things. I'm always going to say this. So many things that could have been done so that this little girl could be here in 2023, but she's not. So that's for the people, that say they team Briasia. You kind of, this, it's not over. Don't think it's over. This is just the beginning. See now, there's no more trial to distract people. There's no more. He's been sentenced. He's in jail. He's gonna rot in jail. He's gonna stay with his conscience, even though he tells the lies that he tells to himself. Those lies will eventually fade away, and he's gonna have to come to the reality of what he did, and that's when it's gonna hit him. But it's just begun. It's just begun. And it's a good thing, people got tattoos to honor Briasia, shirts and different things. They made plates and different things that people do. But I believe if you to honor somebody, especially when they die, you do the things that you knew that they wanted to do or things that they could have done. She would want her brothers to be happy so they could have a successful life. So they don't have all this anger that they have because they don't know, because their sister isn't here. She would want them to get that help. So that's how you honor Briasia's memory, is to assist in any way you can so that these young boys can get back on the right track so they can have a productive life, because something happened to them that stole away, that took away their innocence, that took away their trust in people, because their sister is no longer here. And I believe Briasia would want that for her brothers. So let's not only do the easy task only, get a shirt and get a tattoo, but let's put in some work so that for these young boys, because that's who's left behind. Now I do have more to say about, the young boys and this counseling, how maybe it could work, but I'll leave that more to the end because I want to talk about the sentence. And now I did not expect Dinkins to say anything. That's me. I didn't expect him to say anything, but he did. And of course, I was not shocked the fact that he um, used the race card and did not take accountability, was blaming everybody else, saying they and them and doing, he just was talking a bunch of foolishness. That's all he did. Because, like I tell you, he says lies to himself, and that's how he cope. But one day, you're going to have to face what you did very, very soon. Not one day, very soon. Sooner than you think, he's going to have to face what he did. Because there's no more trial. There's no more trial. He's going to have to face. Because there's about so much lies that you can tell yourself before reality hits you. And it's going to hit him very soon. So yeah, he went on a rant and stuff like that. Of course, he never answered. He never gave an explanation. He only said that, um, he said that they're not gonna find her because it's been so long. That's why he said what he said. And then he, blamed people for he blamed people for putting his son against him when he didn't even have a relationship with his son. Because remember, Aisha had to tell him, you need to spend time with your son. So how people gonna turn your son against you when you didn't even have a relationship with him? He didn't even have a relationship with the son. And then when the son was at his house, he was more in the room with Andrea and Briasia. So he didn't even have a relationship to break up or to tarnish anyway. So the first thing I noticed was when he came in and he didn't even acknowledge his lawyer. Like he just sat down. The lawyer said something to him. He completely ignored the lawyer. Look, you see right there, the whole transaction. And why, later on in his rant, delusional rant, he blamed the lawyer. He was, his lawyer didn't do what he was supposed to do. He tried to reach out to the lawyer And the lawyer, they kept on telling him his lawyer was busy and stuff like that. A certain thing, he felt like the lawyer didn't do his job like at 100%. He felt like maybe the lawyer did his job maybe at 10%, 25% because he was really pissed off at the lawyer. Like the lawyer was the one that was with you when you did what you did. So he was very upset with his lawyer. That's why he didn't acknowledge the lawyer. That was the first thing I noticed. And then, he explained why. So it all made sense. And that whole delusional speech that he gave just shows you the type of man that he is, a coward. He's basically a coward, you know. And I'm not shocked that the family didn't get closure because, in the mother's closing statement, she asked several questions. She asked them because she just wanted to put it out there, but she knew she was not going to get the answer. And then even if she were to get the answer, certain things, I don't think you does it bring what good does it bring in a sense? It wouldn't even bring closure. It probably will cause more turmoil to if she would know exactly how her daughter left. Some people think that, that's gonna give me closure because the person tell me everything that happened, but then it actually causes you more turmoil, more chaos in your life. So of course, he's gonna keep that all to himself because that's his way of sticking it to people, sticking it. But don't worry, somebody gonna stick it to you. You don't really need to worry about somebody gonna stick it to you because there are people that's um there at the prison that's for people that do harm to kids. There's specific people. I don't know. I've heard that. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's even true. I've heard, that there are people in, certain jails and prisons that are specifically there to handle people that do harm to children. That's just hearsay, okay? Don't take my word for don't take my word as law. And I don't think Aisha was in the courtroom when he was doing the speech also because when they called her to give, her statement, they had to call her in. So she probably didn't want to hear it or she didn't want to have an outburst or whatever. She was not in the room when he was speaking. So they called her in. I believe she did a very good job. She kept her composure. You know, there are times she wanted to, break down, but she held her composure because she needed to say what she needed to say. And I believe the fact that she did that, ooh, that's another thing that's going to haunt him. He thinking, oh my goodness, he's sticking it to people. Oh, well, I'll just spend my days in jail and stuff like that. No, there's a lot of things that's going to haunt him. There's a lot of things that's going to haunt him. And, he was sitting there like, oh, well, I don't care. I'm going to do my time. I don't care. I got 3 hearts in a cot. I don't care. But one thing I learned this week about men from a man, maybe not all men are like this, but there are certain men like this. They sit there in certain situations where they should show emotion or you should, you know, you you're looking at their outward appearance, but you don't know what's going on inside. This guy told me he's a security guard. And when he says that he sees like he's a tall guy, but when he sees like a guy that's taller than him or maybe taller and bigger than him, he goes just in because he works with people that, have mental issues. So just in case this person might think one day to start making trouble, he sees this person. He's looking at them, he's afraid. He's literally afraid of the guy because the guy is bigger, taller, looks meaner, scarier. He goes, the person isn't doing nothing yet, but he goes around them and he's mean mugging them. He's mean mugging them. He's mean mugging them and he stands and looks at them. And then the person, usually tend to say, hey man, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just standing here. But inside, like I said, inside him, he's scared. And then he said when he gets the ones that say, hey man, I'm not doing anything, please. I'm just we just talking. He's like, I got them. So outwardly, he looks like, oh, don't play with me. I'll get you. But in deep inside him, he's so scared. He's so scared. So we could see this guy just sitting there, and look at him. He don't care and stuff like that. That's why you're going to jail. And he about to doodle in his prison attire, because you cannot take a life of an innocent child. Like I always go back what the Bible says. The Bible says that for you to do harm to any of these little ones, rather you take a rope with a millstone, tie it around your neck, and throw yourself in the ocean. Just in case you might finish do it and then you change your mind, the millstone gonna drag you down. That's how serious God takes doing harm to children. He doesn't like that. That's how precious children are to him. And you think you're gonna live la vida loca, 3 hearts in a cot? People thinking, oh, he doesn't care and stuff like that. Look, he did. He has no conscience. This man will pay every single day he's in that prison. He's gonna pay. You better believe that. And going back to where they shared about the young brother, he doesn't want therapy. You see this happen back in 2020, 2021, when they found a body, and then in the same year they found that it was him, the dad, that was behind it. So 2021, 2022, 2023, this child has yet to receive therapy. He has yet to receive counseling. He has yet to receive the help that he needs, because he's fighting it. It's not that the parents don't want to do that. He's fighting it. Because why? People need to understand this is no longer a child. Unfortunately, yes, he's 11, but he's no longer a child, because his innocence was stolen. Because people think your innocence can only be stolen, when you've been taken advantage of, like in a sexual way. But your innocence can be stolen anytime a child is exposed to something at a very young age that they shouldn't be exposed to. They were not protected one as they should. So it's different ways children can lose their innocence. So this child is not a child anymore, because a child, as children, they trust you with all their heart, because that's why we have to protect them, because they're very naive. They're trusting, because they don't think in their mind somebody could do harm to them. But this child knows that already, because his father did that to his daughter and to his sister. So he already has that mindset. People can do harm. Anybody could do harm to you, because his dad did this to his sister, and his sister didn't do anything. So this is no longer a child. So he's not going to go to speak to a counselor, therapist, psychologist. He's not going to, because he don't trust people, because that trust that a child has, that was taken away from him because of his father. So if this counseling therapy is to work, he cannot go in a traditional office of a psychiatrist, a psychologist. It has to be in his own environment. This person has to be integrated into the family, whether they are introduced as a friend or introduced as a family member, and that's going to take money. That's why I said this is an appropriate situation to raise a GoFundMe. This is going to need money, because this person is going to probably, off the clock or whatever, being paid to integrate, to get this young boy to open up, to trust at least this therapist, to get to trust this therapist, so that he can open up and talk about it. Because all the anger he's harboring inside at this little young age, all this anger, don't even know how to handle it. That's not good. That's the only way for this therapy session. He can't go to a traditional office. It's going to have to be integrated in his own environment. And it's going to be little by little. It's going to be little by little. Maybe his older brother may not need all of the help that DL needs, but they both need therapy. And this has to be, this is my opinion, it has to be integrated into their environment, because they are no longer the children that they were supposed to be, because their innocence was taken away from them. They were not, they were exposed to something. He was made part of something that took away somebody so special to him. So people, yes, you could see, you may, even though you may see him as a young, even if you listen to the recordings of this little boy when he, when it first happened, and then when they were, asking him question on time, that's night and day, because he's no longer a little boy anymore, and that's so unfortunate. This is why, like I said, that call to action. Watch your kids. You watch your kids. Watch people who you bring around your kids. Because in situations like that, people don't know what to do. You don't know how to help this child. This child has changed. And the more, he's not getting the help, the more worse it's going to be. The more his behavior is going to deteriorate and escalate and get much worse. And I wouldn't want to see him on the news 13, 14, 15 years old doing stuff. Come on. I wouldn't want that. That's why I say this battle is not over yet. It's far from over. It's far from over. I think that's all I had to say about this situation. Could say even more, but the video is already long enough. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.